let's begin.
So, welcome everyone. We're so happy to have you all here with us. Welcome everyone. I'm so happy to have you all with us. We're so happy to have you all with us. And to start our chapel and to conclude our chapel, we're going to begin with a statement of privilege, gratitude, and remembrance. That's how we're going to open and that's how we're going to close. And we ask that everyone read it together in unison, and then we'll begin. As we gather today, we are filled with gratitude for the opportunity to reflect on the land, its past, its presence, and the call it holds for us, honoring rhythms and cycles while letting go of the constraints of linear time. We acknowledge the privilege we have to reflect on our connection with the land as it connects with us. We recognize that many are denied this bond, displaced by genocide, ecocide, and the forcible loss of home. While we speak of rest, care, and renewal, others are searching for a place to rest, to return, to feel at home. The land remembers. We hold space for those who cannot be here, whose relationship with the land in this realm has been severed. The land, like us, needs care, rest, and veneration. Just as we are nourished by it, so too it is nourished by our respect and reciprocity. We are not its stewards, but fellow beings bound together in mutual care. As we reflect, we remember that land back, including the unceded Lenape land that we are on, as well as all other unceded lands represented in this space, is not a movement, but an act of healing. It is an invitation to return to balance, where all beings, human and non-human alike, are allowed to rest and thrive. May we carry this reflection forward, not just in words, but in actions that honor this reciprocal relationship.
Thank you, everyone. We would like to start our offering today by reading a poem by Palestinian poet Mahmoud Darwish. Poem is originally in Arabic, but we have the translation by Marlene Hacker. I would appreciate if we can all read a line each. I can start, and we can go maybe from the left. The olive tree does not weep and does not laugh.
The olive tree is the hillside's modest lady.
Shadow covers her single leg, and she will not take her leaves off in front of the storm.
Standing, she is seated, and seated, standing.
She lives as a friendly sister of eternity, neighbor of time.
That helps her stock her luminous oil ends.
Forget the invaders' names, except the Romans, who
coexist with her and borrowed some of her branches.
To weave wreaths, they did not treat her as a prisoner of war.
Before whose calm dignity swords shatter, in her reticent silver green,
Color hesitates to say what it thinks and to look at what is behind.
The portrait for the olive tree is neither green nor silver.
The olive tree is the color of peace, if peace needed a color.
No one says to the olive tree, "How beautiful you are."
But how noble and how splendid. And she
who teaches soldiers to lay down their rifles.
And re-educates them in tenderness and humility. Go home.
And light your lamps with my oil, but
These soldiers, these modern soldiers,
besiege her with bulldozers and uproot her from her lineage.
Of earth, they vanquished our grandmother who foundered.
Her branches on the ground, her roots in the sky.
She did not weep or cry out, but one of her grandsons,
who witnessed the execution through a stone.
At a soldier, and he was martyred with her.
Victorious soldiers.
Had gone on their way, we buried him there, and in that deep
Hit the grandmother's cradle, and that is why we were
sure that he would become, in a little while, an olive.
Tree, a thorny olive tree, and green.
In the heart of North African indigenous healing, a sacred bond is woven. The ancient tree, the generous land, and the wild herbs that rise as it spread. This is ancestral wisdom and knowledge carried not only in words and carved inscriptions, but in the ritual of receiving. It is the slow, reverent gathering of plants that the earth, in its unending grace, offers to us each year, untamed, unbidden, needing no sowing, no planting, only our gratitude. We harvest these herbs and their scent blooms, awaken with the love and care of our palms and the tenderness of our fingertips. Then the olive season calls us. We dwell in the groves for days, a pilgrimage of kin and beloved companions. Laughter ripples through the branches, bright and restrained, childlike, as we celebrate the season that binds us to the olive tree, to roots that wander deep underground like memories, and to the branches that lift upward like whispered prayers. As we touch the fruit, taste its sharpness on our tongues, and watch its golden oil spill into the world, we feel the quiet company of a grandmother we never met. We feel, too, the gentle courtesy of our spiritual ancestor, the Prophet Muhammad, and his reverence for the soil and his understanding of its sanctity. When the body and the soul ache, he would touch the soil with his saliva and fingertips, and he would place it where it aches and say, بسم الله تربة أرضنا بريقة بعضنا يشفى سقيمنا بإذن ربنا. In the name of Allah and the soil of our land and the saliva of some of us, cure the patients with the permission of our Lord. All of this carried and sustained through generations. In the potent fragrance of the herbs, we are held in ancient remembrance of their healing and transformative power. and the hope of the healing that we know is undoubtedly coming and touching us in ways we perhaps cannot fathom. And in the same breath, our hearts ache and break in memory of the Palestinian child, Omar al-Attar, Noura Walid, Fatima Lu'ay, Maryam Noor, and the many more children whose lives were taken before they could ever touch the leaves, taste her fruit, or water her patient roots with songs of home, land, hope reverberating in the background. So today, I invite you to close your eyes and think of an olive tree. Imagine one, perhaps. And think of the land and the herbs and the fruits whose seeds and aromas provide soulful sustenance. Ground us in times of spiritual shatteredness, land extraction and exploitation. I invite you to remember the land, the serene, the stately land of God, which flowers from vanity, from ambition, from passion, from loneliness, from courage, the land that flowers against hate, genocide, and bloodshed. On the altar, I have brought some leaves that my mom has shipped. Like, she usually ships some of the herbs that has helped me throughout my healing journey. And I would like to offer today to sip or to just smell or inhale and think of the herbs and think of the land and think of all that the land gives us to continue and to arrive. Because I cannot do that today, I have brought like some Greek tea from H Mart, so if you want to grab some, feel free. But yeah, the herbs that I'm mixing today are like completely safe and just for relaxing and if you don't feel comfortable tasting, you can just smell and pass it around.
table is a bulb of garlic that my sweetheart and I grew in our garden, and garlic has been a great teacher to me. There's some cloves on the table over there that you can take home with you. It teaches me about what it's like to be planted in the dark and cold, and then emerge when it's time, when the conditions are right. I have been saving the seed of this garlic for a number of years at this point, so it also teaches me about how miraculous it is that something can come from one clove can then become that. So I offer this to you as a teacher as well. So now we'll move into a little practice. Many traditions acknowledge the fact that we as humans are not exempt from the earth's cycles of birth and death, decomposition and regeneration, that our bodies are of the earth and will return to it. Many of us have been taught to resist these rhythms. Within the earth and body denying ethos of white supremacist, patriarchal capitalism, we are trained to move as if these cycles are not happening, to value unending productivity, to deny our need to lie fallow sometimes, to rejoin the earth. As our teacher, Dr. Cavallis, says in his essay, The Christian as Humus, the ecclesia, the assembly, must now open its wings and see ourselves as who we are, living beings made of water and humus, earth's dust, with the whole of humanity and all earthly creatures. And from a practice poem in the Plum Village tradition, earth brings us to life and nourishes us. Earth takes us back again. We are born and we die with every breath. So let us practice being held in the dark care of the earth's arms as we move toward winter, to remember that we invite fertility, richness, and transformation when we let things break down, unwind, and find their new shapes. So I invite you to find a place where you can touch the ground. If you're sitting in a chair, that may be through your feet, or by extension, through your backside in the chair. If you're on a cushion, feel free to stretch out if there's room. If you're online joining us wherever you are, feel free to lie down. Wherever you are, touch the ground. You're invited to close your eyes if you're comfortable, or just lower your eyelids and turn your focus inward. Take several deep breaths. And with each one, picture the air entering your lungs, traveling down through your torso, through your legs, into the ground, traveling deep into the dark layers of soil and bedrock. Continue breathing, sensing into the ground beneath you. Feel free to move or adjust your body in whatever way allows you to relax every part of you. Wherever there is tension, let it go. Your scalp and face, neck, shoulders, arms and hands, your spine, hips and pelvis, legs and down to your feet, and continue breathing. This body may feel solid, but as we know, it is mostly made of water. Tune into your own water body. As we also know, water will flow down into wherever there is space, following the pull of gravity. See if you can let your body be that free and flow down into the earth, following your breath down into the soil. Rest in the knowledge that the earth can take all of you. For now, you don't need to hold yourself up. You are welcomed, held, beloved. You are home in the arms of earth. Just rest here for a few minutes, letting all you've been carrying flow down into the welcoming darkness, where it can be composted if that's what's needed. When you're ready, slowly start to come back to the room. Wiggle your feet and hands. Open your eyes. See if you can bring a sense of resting and being held into these next few moments and into the rest of your day. You might offer a whisper of thanks to the earth, the ground for holding you, to yourself for taking the time to do this practice today, and to each other for the support and care we offer each other when we take time to rest together. And this practice is available to you throughout your days if you found it nourishing. And now we'll receive an offering from Janie.
Happy full moon in Gemini, everyone. We are here again. I want to thank and give honor and homage to the two beautiful voices that we've heard so far. And this last ritual that we will do together is a tangible ritual that is grounded in reflection, renewal, and rejuvenative practice. So there's two warnings I want to give before we start. So the first one is fire, open flame. The next is scent, smells. So if there's any person who is uncomfortable being around an open flame, sharing an open flame, passing an open flame, please feel free to take some space from this particular ritual. You need to do what you need to do for your body, and that's important. Also, scents. The scents that we'll be working with today are lavender and sage. We do have some scentless candles. We have about 10 of them at the table. If anyone has a sensitivity to scent or smell, please help yourself to those candles as well. And if anyone has a sensitivity that just bars them from being around smells as well, because even when they're not lit, which they will be lit, there's still a smell, we ask that you give yourself the space that you need from this particular ritual and honor what your body needs. Okay? So, Either under your seat or behind you, everyone should have a candle. So feel free to reach down behind you. If we need some extra, yeah, we can pass out the ones on the non-scented ones, but everyone should have a candle. Yeah. If anyone doesn't have a candle who wants one, please raise your hand. Everyone, I'm gonna do this. So, let me know if you can hear me. So as we reflect on this candle, the candle within itself represents a lot of different things. So some of you might recognize this as the We Yoplait yogurt recycled candle, or recycled yogurt container. That is what it is. It is glass. It is representative of the earth, how it gives us so many different resources that have multiple purposes, and yet we discard without thinking through ways that we can reuse or repurpose. Also, us as a vessel who has multiple purposes and multiple uses, including sometimes, including decay and reuse. So the vessel within itself symbolizes that. The lid is bamboo. It's a bamboo lid. This represents sustainability as well as community. Bamboo starts from one plant, one root, and it grows in bunches. You'll never see bamboo by itself. And if you listen to bamboo sometimes, if you're in nature, you can hear it sometimes before you even recognize it's around. But they're strong in numbers, and only underground is where you know how deep their network is. So that's bamboo. And then the wax. The wax is soy. On the altar, I have some soybeans. If anyone knows what those are the ones to my far left, where I'm pointing directly in front of me. Soy represents many things in many different cultures. In this moment, I will say it represents nourishment, also something that has multiple uses. And then the wick. The wick is hemp. Hemp reminds us of a plant that has been used for over 50,000 years before we even got here. It also has probably 50,000 uses. And it's controversial to some. And I think in many ways represents us in that way. It still holds strong through the controversy, but also through its multiple uses and reuses throughout the dawn of time. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a lighting ritual. So I'm gonna light my candle, and I'm gonna pass it. I'll start on this side, looking at Emily, and we'll pass it around until all of our candles are lit, and then we'll do a very quick ceremony around that. Is everyone comfortable with that? Let's start it. And just before, just so we all know where we're going, this feels weird. Just so we all know where we're going, I'm gonna light it, and then we're gonna do a quick ritual. I'm gonna pull from the cards, we're gonna set some intentions, and then we'll close out the ceremony. But to open the ceremony, I'm starting with something that's called juju beads or togo beads. This is from my culture, a West African culture. I'm Nigerian, and so I'll just start with the sound, and we'll end with the sound.
want us to think about rest. What does rest look like for you? What does it smell like? What does it feel like? What does rest sound like? What does rest taste like? Even in this moment, where some of us are rushing towards that final finish line, what does rest have to tell us right now? I want us to think about it, and I want us to send it to the center of our space. Send it towards what we have called an altar here. Send it to the center. And in this, we'll receive a message that our collective intentions on rest has to give this space. We will daydream a little. We will make space. The ability to imagine has been stolen from us. It is radical to tap into a daydream practice. We must imagine what is possible. Our rest is possible. Thriving in rest is possible. Crafting space for rest is possible. Nothing can heal without imagination. It is our hope and desire to dream ourselves free from grind culture. We will daydream a little, and we will make space for rest. So before we depart, before we transition our flame to someone else, I want someone to think about someone in their life who they want to send a little bit of rest to. They want to send a little bit of renewal to. They want to send a little bit of rejuvenation to. And as you blow out your candle or transfer the flame, I want you to think about them as you transfer that energy. And once all flames have been transferred or blown out, we will end this part of the ceremony. So you are able to take these candles with you. You can keep them for yourself or gift them to whomever or do whatever you want to do with them as a reminder of the time that we've created here today. And we will wrap up, close our collective ceremony with reading the statement of privilege and gratitude and remembrance, which is the same way that we opened up. And we'll read it together. Does anyone need a cup? And please share with our friends.
As we gather today, we are filled with gratitude for the opportunity to reflect on the land, its past, its present, and the call to hold for us, honoring rhythms and cycles while letting go of the constraints of linear time. We acknowledge the privilege we have to reflect on our connection with the land as it connects with us. We recognize that many are denied this bond, displaced by genocide, ecocide, and the forcible loss of home. While we speak of rest, care, and renewal, others are searching for a place to rest, to return, to feel at home. The land remembers. We hold space for those who cannot be here, whose relationship with the land is unserved. The land, like us, needs care, rest, and veneration. Just as we are nourished by it, so too is it nourished by our respect and reciprocity. We are not its stewards, but fellow beings, bound together in mutual care. As we reflect, we remember the land back, including the land we are on, as well as other unceded lands represented in this space, is not just a movement, but an act of healing. It is an invitation to return to balance, where all beings, human and non-human alike, are allowed to rest and thrive. May we carry this reflection forward, not just in words, but in action that honor this reciprocal relationship. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Please feel free. We have a tea station. Feel free to grab a tea, garlic, herbs, and candles, and a lot of love and care to go forward. And yeah.